problems. No.
Well, they built plenty of houses, and people was families. They more or less lived together on top of one another. You see, if you had a family, you'd have your daughter got married. She wouldn't take a house miles away. She'd take it in the same turning all round the corner.
Well, it's the thing that everybody used to sort of help one another out. If a person died and they wanted any help and you had anything, a bit of black or anything like that, and you didn't have any need for it, you just hand it over to the person that needed it, right?
You could go in one another's house in a street. You see all strings in the street door. If you thought she wasn't well, you pull a string and walk in and say, "It's only me."
Go round any old time and make yourself at home. Put your feet on the mantel shelf. Open the cupboard and help yourself. I don't care if your friends have left you all alone. Wish your boy, knock at the door and make yourself at home.
People were very friendly in those days. They wasn't tough in those. They were all practically all in the same boat, and they all helped one another. And if that woman never had, if she was going to be confined like that, and she never had no sheets on her bed, which happened in many cases, she'd even take her own sheets so that that woman would look well at the time of the confinement.
You couldn't live without one another. You'd have to have someone to help. I mean, suppose you were ill yourself. If you wasn't friendly with neighbours, you just lay there and die. And what about the children?
I couldn't sit down at our table, or if I knew that you lived next door to me and you never had nothing to eat. I couldn't sit there and eat my tea.
Now you talk about folks as is highborn and rich, but they ain't so highborn as us down the ditch. If you want to see sights, well, you all ought to come down our street where you'll all get plenty of fun. Hold your rah, what do you say? Now, I ain't said a word about half what's occurred. Hold your rah, what do you say? It's the cream of society lives down our way.
And what you don't see now, what you saw then, was the lamplighter. He used to come round about 5 o'clock in the evening, if it was dark, and put the pole up there and light the light. See, and in the morning when he'd come to out it, if you wanted him to knock you up for work, he'd tap you on the window like that. You'd say, all right, right.
There used to be a man with a lot of panes of glass on a rack. He used to carry the rack on his back. He was the man who used to go and put the windows in for him. He called out, you know, windows, windows. And if he see a couple of kids in the street, this is true, he used to give them 8 each to go and throw some stones up at the people's windows. Yeah, honestly. And then he'd wait a couple of hours, you know, and then he'd go round and put the windows in.
And then they'd come round the street doors with a tin of Brunswick black, painting the knockers and the letterbox Brunswick black. A penny Now, they got to buy this, but of course so many of us would have it done.
Oi, 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 kippers a penny a pair. Below to 3 for twopence, you get them anywhere. The cheapest place to buy them, down in Donkey Row. And when you go by, you get a fat eye and a punch on top of the nose. In the streets, every morning, you'd either a man open the window and look out, you see an old man walking through the middle of the road, singing, and you throw out money and throw the money out the window to him. And that's it, you see. It's such a different life now to what it was then. You know, people look poor, and you see them walking about with coarse aprons on where they've been at work and all that.
The men, if they were out of work, they'd go round the street singing, or get a barrel organ. Have you ever seen a barrel organ that they had years ago in the street? You turn the organ. They'd go round that and sing the best they could. And people used to come to the doors and throw them out a halfpenny or a penny. And that's how they got.
As kids, we always used to sit on the edge of the curb. We used to sing with the organ. And when he used to go round with the hat, he used to say, well, one of you kids get up and turn this organ while I go round with the hat. Then there was the Lunar boys. They had a board, and they used to roll it up. There was half-castes, about 3 of them. But they was very good and very entertaining.
Oh, we ain't got no piano. We left to borrow one. Won't we ever be no when my old man comes home? There'll be Timothy O'Flanagan fighting all the hooligans. Won't we ever be no when my old man comes home?
Well, I told you when it was a nice night, they pulled the piano out onto the pavement if they lived downstairs. And of course you used to all dance out there to it. I didn't, but I mean, a lot of the people did, you know, it was very entertaining. But because they made their own pleasures, you see.
Either you played an instrument or you had a song. And when you went to these parties, there'd be a small room and about 30 people all sitting round the walls. And they wouldn't be boozy parties, but people would pour out a glass of beer and you'd just pass it round, you see, so that... And then somebody would say, oh, Charlie, sing your whatever song it was, you see, Mickey Dunn's Party or the Hot Cross Bun or... and so on. And so he'd go into it, and that would be how it would progress.
Oh, drop a drink. Oh, a bottle of scotch or a pint of Guinness. Couple of pints of Guinness, one pint won't make you drunk. Couple of pints, yes. Or half a bottle of scotch, yes. Yeah, it's nice when you've got had a drink and you feel like jazzing, ain't it?
Enjoy yourself. Have another one. Enjoy yourself.
Have another one.
Never let your troubles trouble you. Have a good time, whatever you do. Well, you might as well spend all you earn. 'Cause if you take it with you, it will surely burn. And the good book says you're a long time dead. Enjoy yourself.
People were so sick and tired of filth and squalor and hunger and so on that they just went to the pubs. I mean, the pub was a jolly place. And after you had a few drinks, you began to feel jolly and you began to sing and, you know, Nellie Dean and whatever.
Oh, yes, I wouldn't go in a pub if they didn't allow him to sing. And of course, when my father had a few and come outside with another man, the song they sang, well, I didn't know it, and they were crying to one another because they were well can. That's where I laid her in the tomb when the sun shines bright in the morning. Oh, dear.
I've been out with Johnny Walker, Johnny Johnny Walker is all right. We've been here and there, everywhere. He's learned me a new step. It's better than the latest two-step. I've been out with Johnny Walker. He's a fella you all know. But we're dear old pals, Johnny old pal. So I brought him home with me. We used to have empty bottles and put them on the table.
Saturday nights was the real night, and that, I mean, even in the pubs they used to have sort of what they called knees-ups, and everybody would get into the middle of the pub and hang on to each other and stamp their feet on the floor simply because there was no room to do anything else.
There's another thing of a Saturday night. All the main roads, like East Near Dock Road, there's ever so many people about. And when I used to go, when I went to the Congregational Church Trinity, we used to have open air meetings afterwards, usually outside a public house, the Cotton Arms, and people would come round, you know, and in quite a big circle to listen. But when you try to convert them to join us, they walk away.
Along down the mining road every Saturday night. Strolling along down the mining road, and that is my delight. Arm in arm with my young man, his name is Billy Morgan. He's the champion down our way, playing the tenor mouth organ.
You've got to be well dressed and hat on, a big feather up the front. You've got to be right dressed, as otherwise a lad would say, "Oh, I don't like her. She looks poor," you know.
You know, when we used to go round the parks, we went to Shadwell Park, didn't we?
I never been
No,
there. Never
well,
been
I
there.
used to. They used to go there Thursday night. Threepence to go in.
Yeah.
It was just an enclosure in the...
You used to have a deck chair and all?
No.
Oh, we used to have a deck
No,
chair
we
over
just
Victoria
used to
Park.
stand round and then we'd take a partner with us and dance. Sometimes to pick up a boy there. Well, my husband was one of them boys.
Oh, was he?
But I didn't pick him up there.
He picked you up?
No. I picked him up somewhere else.
I know me bloke because he's Ikey. He took me to the paddock every Friday. He wears a velvet suit upon a Sunday, with half a dozen pearlies down the front, tickly-yump, bump.
It's just Penny Picture Palace or up the music hall. Go up in the gods, know where that is, in the gallery. They call them the gods. Tuppence. At the music hall. And that was our only enjoyment. We used to go when something good was on.
But other than that, it wasn't very much social life, not in them days, no. Unless, of course, you had money. You could go out and find life then, couldn't you? Like you can today. It's the same thing. If you've not got money, you can't go out, can you? Same thing the world over.
We used to borrow one another's clothes to go out to have a dance, go in some face to have a dance. Yeah. And not ashamed to own it either. We used to lend one another. She'd wear mine and I'd wear hers. So.
I never take the knock when the boys cry cock. Cock, 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 Robin. In me old red vest, I'm here to cut a shine. And walking down the street, they call me Danger on the Line. And more they call me Robin Redbreast. I'll wear it longer still. I will have a red vest coat, I will.
I will, I will, I will, I will.
You see all the old girls standing in the corner with their arms folded. Then as you say, you went to work, you're done up with a nose. Look at her, fancies herself. Yeah. Then you hear the old girls. So I do fancy myself, so what?
See, women were very catty. Somebody had confided in somebody, said, now don't let on I've told you. What happens? She goes and tells the next door neighbour. So, of course, this woman comes to the door and she said, what are you talking about me for? I told you in confidence. So she got a good idea for splitting on the sea. Oh, that's how they used to go on.
I remember one night, there was a bleeding crowd out just past our door, round the corner. And I said, Mother, caught, and I said, go and see what it is. Of course. We used to go there was two bleeding women having a bleeding fight. I'll always remember them, we was around the corner. And I went and said, you know, Mrs. So-and-so, Mum, it's her. Oh, she come down, didn't she? Naturally, she wanted to say, yes. About an hour after, we were talking together.
Down our street, there is a blooming riot. 25 girls are waiting there. And the police cannot keep them quiet. For you know they won't go, every maiden me. Oh, for me, they're waiting there for me. They'll have to wait till the moon turns green. I gotta go, God save the Queen, aha, hee hee. They won't go back to sea. Anybody knows the trick or two, it's me, 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 me. Our landlord, without any warning, thought he'd try a modern sort of plan to our house. He came round this morning with a stick, nice and thick, and a broker's man. Oh, for me, they're waiting there for me. He'll have to wait till the moon comes through, like he knows the black man's head, aha, hee hee. We're waiting back to see. If anybody knows the trick or two, it's me, 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 me.
Come on, there's a fight down at Maid's Cottages. Come on, there's a fight down Union Terrace, that was the next court. Come on, there's a fight down somebody else. Yes, terrible fights those days. Because they'd begrudge one another. One made more than the other, there'd be a fight. That was the trouble.
You see, it was like village life in a way. Now, where we lived, there were perhaps 10, 20 houses, and that was our territory. And we didn't go outside that territory. We played in that territory, we lived in that territory. And anybody that lived outside of that territory was lowbrow. I mean, they weren't good enough to talk to.
Well, as far as the boys are concerned, they're brought up fighting, aren't they? See, wherever they go, there's always someone wants to be the top dog, you see. And fighting is the only way they can prove it.
You're the cock of the north, me boy, and I'm the cock of the south. If you don't shut up, you blooming ray, you'll get me fish in your mouth.
Oh, I remember in the olden days, there was in Pennyfields, there were Chinese, and there was a Chinese laundry in Upper North Street. And when they first came, they were very unpopular. I remember there was sort of demonstrations, and I've seen bricks being thrown at the windows and that.
There were Jewish families, Jewish men who did wear beards, and occasionally they were accosted by some of these young hooligans, it's about the only word you could apply to them, and made an attempt to tug at the beard. It certainly wasn't a friendly gesture that they made, and the old people used to be very worried and very annoyed about it.
Only you, at the insults I remember. Only you, but why not a Christian too? for the same sun shining o'er us, and the same world lies before us. So why should they insult a man who's only a Jew?
On evening, if we got fed up and didn't have anything to do, we'd collect all the bricks we could and go round to the next turning, or turning where the Jewish people started living, which in our cases was Eric Street. Eric Street was the Jewish population started to grow, and we used to pelt their houses, smash all their windows, and if the kids come out, we'd have a street fight. All the Jewish boys would be down at one end, and we'd be down the other, and we'd throw bricks at one another. Now, to you, it might sound brutal, but that was our sport.
We had a lot of German shops, and they were lovely shops. They had the beautiful peace pudding shops, you know, and bakers. They had a lot of good businesses. And they used to make lovely food. Well, they were sorry they done it afterwards, but when we was at war with Germany, all the shops got it. They went round smashing all the shops.
Well, I was so young, I didn't believe there was a war until the soldiers, the men, started walking down Old Ford Road, you know, all in battalions, and we used to run round, being young, to watch them all going along. And somebody said, oh, we're at war.
Work, boys, work and be contented, making ammunition for the war. Oh, we're making shot and shell for to blow the hand to hell, but we've never done a stroke of work before.
We had no option, just it came, you see. Whatever it was about, you know, we had no say in the matters, king and country, and that's all it was.
When the Zeppelins started coming, everybody started running about saying, they're here, they're here. And my sister and I were leaning out of the window, waiting for them to come down the street. Because obviously, the place they would come to would be our street. This was the only place that was really, you know, worth their while coming to. That's how narrow-minded people were. And of course, we fed on propaganda.
He was a school teacher. And he joined up in the army because all the other men were going, or boys they called them then. They were all going to join the army, and he thought he'd join the same. Of course, he didn't come back again, did he?
That was when people got angry, because we didn't want war. Now, what have we got to fight for? We hadn't got 2 halfpennies for a penny. And what have our men got to fight for? And what did they get when they done? Only thrown on a scrap heap. So.
Can't find the old job, we can't find the new. Can't carry on as I used to do. I look around me, daily I see thousands and thousands of fellas a lot worse off than me. In Piccadilly, friends pass me by. I'm absolutely stranded in the Strand. But I must confess, I'm contented more or less when I was only broke in no man's land.
Next week there's more oral history, with the start of a new series that looks at life through the eyes of children, from the days before the First World